And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes a guest. He's a writer, actor, and director whose hilarious new movie, The Gutter, is out right now. It's Yassir Lester. Tone Zone is here to remind you that it's always best to live in the moment, just maybe not this moment, because this moment fucking sucks. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy fancy dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my
Hey everyone, hi, hello, it's me, Allison Rosen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend.
Oh my God, that's a real be careful what you wish for. Because I was like, you have those Todd Cooper drops, right? Hello, my little sour gummy worms. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon. By Marla Kasif. And yes, I am on Patreon. All sorts of fun stuff over there. I do have to direct everyone's attention right now to the confidant level, which is where you can text me and I'll text you back. And I have been sending daily update texts, and it's like a whole secret other source of content. Let's just say a lot of secrets are being revealed there. For example, and I'll reveal it here too. While cleaning out my deceased parents' house, I came across some items that I didn't want to find. And they found out first. I had to. It's where I'm processing. Anyway, patreon.com/Allison Rosen. Also, I just put up a Substack, AllisonRosen.substack.com. I don't even know legally if I should discuss one of the things. So, Tony, when I discuss it, you're going to have to note the time codes in case I decide afterwards I shouldn't have
I just want to say we went from one extreme to the other. Total privacy to none at all.
Who's the we?
About your
Oh yeah, because when my parents were alive they were very private, but now that they're dead all will be revealed. So yeah, I'm on those things. Follow me there and such and whatnot. Okay, I would like to say hello to my guest, Yassir Lester. Welcome back.
At this point, we're just family.
That's right.
We don't even need to do the guest like just
I would like to say hello to my fam.
Yes. And people will be like, it's Yassir.
That's
he lives
right.
around the corner.
I know. And you were just, I mean, what a fast return.
Look, you know, the people
Have
they
spoken?
needed it. They needed it. No, they didn't speak.
Now more
they
than
needed
ever.
It. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I would also,
thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming back. Hello, Daniel.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
It's going well.
Great.
Wait, who's the host now?
Well, I feel like I still am,
Oh,
but if
shit.
there's something I don't know, you tell me.
No, it's you.
Okay. Hi, Tony.
Hello.
I'm going to nibble on some minestrone while we record. The worst food to eat while recording. Most of them are bad, actually, but we do have a snack chat sent in from a listener. Did I put that in here? Hang on.
I would also argue just minestrone as a...
Are you anti-minestrone?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a solid soup.
Hold on. What's the difference between that and just like a vegetable soup, though? I've never really.
I guess, and like this is, and I want emphasis to be on guess very heavily here. I'm guessing.
You're not a soup expert.
Yes. No. I'm no Campbell, but I believe it's probably like Italian seasonings, right? Or like
That's what I'm thinking.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
sure.
like
more
think,
oregano or something.
Yes, because I
Yeah.
feel like you can just have like, you know, a tomato and pepper soup or whatever is in it. You know what I'm saying? Because what gazpacho is cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate a gazpacho as well.
Oh my God,
Hate
we're so aligned on so many things
Yeah.
except soup
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow.
So you're pro minestrone
and pro gazpacho.
and pro.
Yeah.
This is
What's your favorite? Like a cheddar cheese?
like soup. Yeah, I love like a lobster bisque. I know bisque already takes us kind of out of the realm of soup because it's not water based; it's milk based. But
I think that's still a
I
soup.
feel like in this house, it counts.
right, we'll count it. You know, but like, just like a nice tomato soup with a grilled cheese. Like, who's
Oh my God, you and Daniel are the same
who's
soup
beating
wise.
that
That's
chicken
it.
noodle?
Yeah.
You a chicken noodle guy.
Chicken, you can't go wrong.
Come on.
Chicken noodle, but yeah, the tomato soup. You said that you didn't do tomato soup and grilled cheese as a thing. When you grew up,
No,
right?
I wasn't. I was a late comer to that one. I wasn't.
I
aware
was
that
too,
was a
actually.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, but I do like it now though.
I don't.
Yeah.
I still don't even think I've ever had it, but I could imagine it being good. Tony, welcome
Yeah.
back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? You were out for a while with a mysterious something.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I tested, didn't have COVID, didn't have the flu, but I just felt like I had a miserable cold that just would not go away for 2 weeks. But feeling pretty normal now. You know, just those like little
Yeah.
remnants left here
I
and there,
can
but
hear
mostly
it a little bit.
mostly fine now.
Your teeth are bleeding for the listeners.
That's
for the
that's
listeners.
just they can tell you that's normal though. Yeah.
Just he flossed for the first time.
Oh wow!
Ever.
Wow! Congrats. How was it? It feels.
It hurt a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was it sucked. It just felt like it wouldn't go away. It was the first time I've ever been woken up by congestion when it started.
wow.
Like I went to
Just not
bed
breathe?
I went to bed feeling totally normal and I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I was suddenly like really stuffy and I was like, that's weird. Hope I'm not getting sick. And then I was super sick. And yeah, just couldn't shake it.
But you're back.
I'm back and worse than ever.
Okay. Do you think God had maybe something to do with it?
Oh, for sure. I got to
was
thank the
making
big man
sure.
up top.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I meant for getting you sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it was a punishment.
God creates the problem and solves
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I just want to say now that we don't have a CDC anymore, I'm now your CDC,
Yeah.
and I want to tell everybody the flu's bad this year, folks. Even though you didn't have it, like watch out. 'cause
Yeah.
it's
I mean, maybe it
acting
is
weird.
what I had, but when I tested for it, it said I didn't. So.
But I think God, am I going to be the conspiracy dude on the podcast?
We need one.
We're trying to get those Rogan numbers.
Okay,
so
cool. Here we go. I in my heart of heart believe in the same way that like strains of COVID wouldn't pop positive until like 3 weeks after you have it. I think whatever this new strain of flu is doing the same thing. My mom had it really bad. My sister had it really bad.
My mom had it really bad.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Yeah. Some would say the worst.
really,
Yeah. Some might say your mom won the flu
But-
contest. Like,
didn't someone say that like actually they've been seeing a lot of fatalities from this flu? Like,
Yeah, my hematologist said that
Yeah.
it's like not an uncommon
and
story.
another doctor was saying it is acting like COVID.
yeah.
So who knows?
So wait, go back to your so your conspiracy is that
Not
it
even
is all the flu.
Yes,
and
I
it's
think
just not. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that like we're in a world now, in particular, that like like you mentioned, we have no more CDC, but I also I believe that even if we did, I don't think that they're willing to shut the economy down again. So we'll just never
Yes.
we'll never have the actual.
Is your
answer.
family better?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. But still, like, if you're just like, for as much technology as we have and access to clean water and food and all this stuff, I'm like, God, it's like the flu is gonna get us again. Like,
I
this is
know.
what a bummer. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You don't think of the flu as being something you really have to worry that much about,
right?
Cold and flu. It's just like the cold and flu,
Yes,
but like a cold
exactly.
is like so much easier than the flu.
Yeah.
Well, as someone who has personal experience with this, I can say a little bit. I'm like, we turned ourselves into pretzels to be so safe during COVID. What a weird analogy, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying
No,
that was
but what
wrong to think that it's no big deal.
That's
It
what
is a
I'm
big deal.
saying. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, I can't believe that all that, and then the flu is what took my mom out. We
But your
survived
mom
COVID.
had-
She was immunocompromised.
Yes, she
But
was-
I know, yes. But I agree. Like, you think of it as a cold and flu, but really influenza can. But that's what they've been saying the whole time, though. It's not like messaging has changed. The whole time, I think it's just as easy to block out that part of the flu being deadly because for the most part, the people you run into, it's fine.
Sorry. No, I cut you.
I just remember during COVID when all the people who were like anti-vax were saying like it's just the flu, and it's like
Yeah.
you're saying that like to downplay, but the flu can be
Right.
bad too. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
No. It's just and to the point about your mom a little bit, like I think that really annoys me too, especially when we bring up, the elderly, the young, the immunocompromised. It's like, yeah, but if everyone was being responsible, it still wouldn't be at this point. That's what I don't like, because there was like, well, it was just, this person who also had, X comorbidity, however you pronounce the word. And you're like, yeah, but like,
They count too.
If 50% of the population did not have the flu, then this person would be okay.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
that's what it really annoys me, because it always circumvents responsibility.
Yes.
It really pisses
Right.
me off.
Like, oh, it's your fault that you had this condition. It's like, well, how about you don't pass it to the
Right,
person?
exactly. Like, you don't need to be coughing in a Ralph's. You know what I'm saying? Stay home. It actually drives me crazy. And
Yeah.
like, I don't.
That lack of any sense of yourself as being part of a community or a society is the thing that pisses me off constantly everywhere. Like, it's drivers, it's just everybody behaving as though they're the only people that exist.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it makes everything worse.
Yeah.
So in light,
Except to me, I actually love it.
Yeah, what's good for
I
you?
love it. Just to be clear, I didn't say that.
Right,
part,
right,
But I
right.
do love that we're all very selfish.
it's like an Ayn Rand kind of thing.
Yeah, Atlas
know?
Shrugged.
Somehow, Fountainhead.
Yeah, John Galt.
I worked
Who's John
at a
Galt?
company.
Is that one of her characters?
yeah. That's when. Okay,
I
so
only know Howard Rourke and Fountainhead.
Okay, so pre like Trump really, when it was like very Tea Party and the Tea Party was like evolving, they all read Atlas Shrugged.
Oh.
And the main character of that is John Galt, and so they would you would see like these, it's very interesting, because I do feel like you can look at someone and most times you can tell if they read or not. You know what I mean? Like as a source of entertainment
Yes.
or just to gain knowledge. But you'd see guys who you're like, that guy doesn't read, but he would be wearing like an Atlas Shrugged shirt. And you're like, why? And then the back of the shirt would say, who is John Galt? Which is one of the thematic elements in the book. Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
Was
used
he an
to work.
architect? Sorry. It's
Yeah,
important.
what was he? Was he an architect?
He's like a. God, I'm trying to remember now, but I believe, because I don't know if architect's the right word. I think maybe it's like civil engineer or something. But
Okay.
like, I don't remember enough about the book.
My
honestly. Yeah.
conspiracy theory,
Yes.
which I've shared on the show before.
Yeah.
I have a thing. Architects are kind of bad. I don't mean it's bad to make buildings. That's great.
Right.
But I feel that there is an architect personality, and it is kind of a megalomaniac.
Oh, I'm with. I agree in the sense
They're
that like,
persnickety anal megalomaniacs.
but I think
No offense.
anyone whose job, and so I'm going to go with architects to politicians to also, I don't know, again, civil engineers, whatever. If your job has to do with like physically and mentally shaping society, I don't think inherently you can be a good person. And it's because
Well, you've taken it even further than
yes.
me.
Well, I believe that anyone who thinks that they singularly can change the course of the way a society lives
Yes.
is demonic.
Or should.
Right?
Right? Like, it's that thought that people need to have it changed my way.
Right. Exactly. You know,
Okay.
like, I guess like in a world, like, I don't hate like Frank Lloyd Wright. Like those are how, for the most part. But I think like these people who like create these, is it Frank Lloyd Wright? Incorrect?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
you-
looked at
I was
me.
just thinking,
Okay. I was
I
like,
was thinking like, and also podcasters are also terrible.
I disagree.
I
Some
work.
of us are okay.
I work at Lionsgate, and the CEO of Lionsgate's
Yeah.
parking spot said John Galt.
you're lying.
I'm not lying. It was so annoying. It was.
Did you know the reference at that
Yes,
time?
I did. That's why I remembered it, because I thought it was so douchey. Like, just put your
That's
name, man.
Crazy. Or jump off a building.
Like, yeah, and it's just like,
Like, dude, you have two options: put your real name or jump off a building. But I'm going to be making the choice for you.
yeah.
When he was first hired, actually, I don't know how it works when you hire a CEO, and the person from HR came and gave him the company binder. In there, it should say, like, your options are change your name on the little curb thing or jump off a building.
Or jump off a building.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, to me, that's like no different than like, I don't know. Like if I worked at, I don't know, Disneyland, and like my parking spot said President Mowgli or something. It's like, what are we doing? Like, you're just a guy. But to architects, I feel because architects also do a thing that really annoys me, and it's that they, I think to the mainstream, people have done it before, but like architects were kind of the first ones you saw who were like, you know, shirt from like Express, which is now, I don't know, what do they call Express now?
Is it even still around?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it just morphed into whatever.
Tony, look up what Express is now.
It's sorry. I meant to say Structure, which became Express. Yes.
Okay.
But they would wear like a button-up Structure shirt and like blue slacks.
Yeah.
But then they'd also be wearing like Nike running shoes.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's because I'm always on the go. And it's like, stop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
if you're designing something that's supposed to like house me from the elements and hundreds of other people, put on hard bottom shoes. Put on dress shoes. I feel that way strongly.
Because if they're wearing running shoes, then what? They're not taking it seriously.
They're not taking it seriously. Like, it feels very like to me, I don't know. I love that we're talking about architects.
Yeah. They've had it coming for a while.
They've had. It feels dismissive of the job in the way that I'm like I don't. Who cares how you feel about this person one way or the other? But like that outfit that I'm describing feels like what Justin Timberlake should be wearing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
a suit and
They're
then
not taking
like
it
Nike
seriously
fly knit runners. But like,
Right.
It reminds me of that like 80s thing, that 30-something sort of like you've got that cool job in advertising, whatever. So you're like, you're a professional, but I'm a young professional, so I'm going to put on tennis shoes. It's
yeah.
like,
You know what's funny is when you just said 30-something right now, I felt that you said it from the perspective of someone younger than 30-something.
Oh, I
Did
got the
you?
opposite.
well, I was younger when it came out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Did you say it as if the 30-something, like the older sort of, like the establishment?
Honey, I'm sure I did.
Well, I guess I remember that show 30-something, which was about adults
yeah.
when we were kids.
They were so old.
Yeah.
To me, yeah. But
Peter
anyway,
Horton
yeah.
was in it, I think. I'm just saying it's funny now that those are children to me now. Okay, big news in the Allison Rosen fish space. We're going to need some kind of drop for that.
Like a splash. Like,
Oh yeah. You probably should get one of those because this is going to be. We're going to hear something.
Well, I do have something fish related for you.
Derek is down to clown.
It's your boy Derek that works at the fish store.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Is
I
Derek
had-
the one we deal with?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he listens, but I had a frustrating conversation with Derek yesterday where he gave me a lot of contradictory like Daniel went with me. He said, this is at Burbank Scales and Tails. Daniel went with me. He said he agreed to go, but he said, please, can this not take the whole afternoon?
well, let's back up. Let's back up a little bit. We're at home. I have plans. It's the last day of a 3-day weekend. I got ideas. And she's like, hey, you want to come with me to Petco, which is, of course, come with me to Petco.
No, it really was an option, but I can understand where you didn't think it was.
Sure. So Petco,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
No, but and then I tacked on a trip to UPS.
So then it
which
was
takes
like,
time,
well,
too.
let's go to UPS because we got to do returns. So now it's 2 things. And then Petco took forever.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, can we go to Scales and Tails? And I'm just watching my life drain like water out of under the ground.
broken fish tank.
Yeah.
Shattered
And
fish tank.
and so then I'm like, well, only if it takes. If
it doesn't take all
And of
afternoon.
course it did.
Well, so Derek, so anyway, in the midst of all this, Daniel and I went to the car to get the filter we just bought to show Derek, blah, blah, blah. And I said to Daniel, this is very confusing. I think I'm tracking about 30% of what he said. Because my issue with Yassir, they call it the people in the fish tank, in the fish world call it the hobby.
Right.
Which at first I'm like, they are referring to it as the hobby. And then I'm like, or maybe they're just referring to it as a hobby.
I thought the hobby was hunting humans.
No, that's the most dangerous
But
game.
you know, every subsect of any sort of collecting anything or like calls it the hobby.
That's what I'm wondering.
It's really annoying. Like like sports memorabilia,
Okay.
card collectors, they also call it the hobby. Like you can find
interesting.
almost so
they call it the hobby.
Yeah.
They do, but it is. They don't just mean like people who are involved in this hobby. It is referred to as the hobby in the hobby.
I feel like we need
All
to have like a
hobbies.
competition show to figure out which is the
Yeah.
number one hobby
Yeah.
and call itself that.
Yeah.
My issue with the hobby is that from the beginning I've been getting contradictory info. It is impossible to.
Yeah.
It's very confusing once you get in the world because you want to do right by your fish, but
Right.
everyone has different info.
Right.
And now Derek, my boy who's down to clown, is giving me different info from what he gave me a few weeks ago. But anyway. Oh, yeah. I was like, why did I bring up Derek? Because of the drop. So anyway, though, we now have our second tank.
Third.
It's well, our second one with water in it. Our second 10-gallon tank.
Our son, we were at the pet store and Elliot, and he was literally crying. He's like, I don't want my house to become a zoo.
It's not. It's becoming an aquarium.
As we were buying our pet beetle.
So
Wait, so when you say second or third aquarium, do you mean it's replaced that, or you have multiple now?
So we have our original
question.
10-gallon.
Yes.
And then I bought a 29-gallon, but that one has no water in it. It's just sitting there because we're having a bit of an issue with figuring out like what kind of fish tank stands to get. And
We.
Wait, can I have two questions?
yeah.
Who is the fish person amongst you?
Well, it started, this is a bit of an issue. It started
Yeah.
as my son,
Okay.
my 5-year-old,
Okay.
soon to be 6, Owen. It was for him.
Okay.
I realized I'm obsessed with this.
Okay.
So it's me, but he's kind of like my boss.
Okay.
So a lot of things have to be passed by him,
Okay.
which is complicated because he's
Yeah.
a child. So anyway, he really wanted a puffer fish. So we're getting a puffer fish, but it is going to be saltwater. It's my first foray into the world of salt
And the
water.
puffers need their own tank because they're antisocial.
They're
Okay.
aggressive,
Yeah.
right? So it'll just be one puffer in this tank. So we're now cycling it and getting ready. That's the big news. But the saltwater thing is like, it's a pretty. I'm trying to think of what's an analogy. It'd be like, is there any kind of like major rift in the drumming world, Tony? Like, oh, I always played this kind of snare, but now I'm going to play this kind of snare.
I don't keep up with that stuff.
Okay, well, it's like
I
I'm a
think-
Yankees fan and
I
I'm
was
going to a Mets game.
I was gonna say, but
I mean,
I
I'm
feel
sitting
like
on the
more.
Mets
It's like
side.
more of. I think it's more of like a farm league to big leagues thing more than anything,
Maybe.
right? Because like I feel like because I'm assuming saltwater is more work.
That's, well, or according to Derek, less because you don't ever actually clean it.
That's true. I had a saltwater hot tub before.
Oh.
And it was actually way easier than have. By the way, it's just on a podcast. Like, oh, I actually had a saltwater hot tub. But
My
I will
idea
say,
of who you are has changed
Was there
drastically.
a downside?
really? Huh?
Was there a downside to the saltwater?
I mean, like you do less. You're buying salt, but what I'll say, and like, look for listeners out there who can. By the way, this was like in a rental. It's not like I owned a
Okay.
saltwater hot tub. But what I'll say,
I mean, it's okay.
I mean, I would tell you. I trust me, it would be more of a badge of honor if I could afford it. But what I say all that to say that, like, you know, the freshwater hot tub. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with this before as well. There's like the chlorine and the bleach, and you're
Yes.
like always checking the pH and blah blah blah. Saltwater, you just kind of throw the salt in there. You're like, that's enough. Your skin feels better. I feel like you retain the heat better. I don't know. So I say all that to say
Yeah.
that, like,
it might be easier even.
It might
Some
be
people
easier.
people say that, but the fish themselves, well, the puffer fish at least is a very sensitive fish.
right.
So I have to make it feel heard.
Yeah.
Seen.
Make sure it's puffing.
Yeah, no, you actually
You never want it to puff.
you never want to puff. That's a sign of extreme stress.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like it can be like lethal.
But
Well,
what if they're like going through a divorce?
you got to get it counseling.
Okay. I'm just saying, that's extreme stress.
Yeah,
then all of a sudden
and if
they're-
it was giving a speech in public
Oh,
and
yeah,
moving,
yeah.
those are all
Yeah.
stressors for a puffer fish.
Do the puffers have spines when they puff?
There is a spiny puffer fish, but the one we're getting does not.
There's a growing up, a friend had her dad had one that was like, I don't know how they made it, like
Are you thinking of a lionfish or porcupine fish?
porcupine.
Maybe?
It was like it inflates like a puffer, and then it has this.
I think you're thinking of a lion. If are you sure it was a pufferfish?
No, well, that's why I'm asking.
Yes, I think that's a lionfish.
Okay.
Oh, I thought lionfish were the like brown and white
They are.
striped one, but they can also puff.
Well,
This is one that puffed because they got it. It was puffed, and then they killed it, and they had it like I don't know, encased in some. They like hardened, and then it was hanging like a
the
decoration
story has
in the
taken
house.
a turn.
And knowing that the thing was in like extreme distress in order to kill it, like they
That
must have had to
sounds
be
like a pufferfish. And my parents also had just a dead pufferfish statue sitting there. It wasn't encased in anything. And I was literally just thinking about that the last couple of days. I was thinking how sad it was killed in a stressed out state.
right. It's like bad enough that they killed it, but they had to like scare it.
Yeah. I know.
Maybe the killing of it would scare it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's really
like-
sad. Now, my parents weren't involved in the killing of it, though. As far as I know, I don't know who they are as people anymore. Should we get to
You're
that?
learning. You're
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
finding out.
So,
Did you find a bunch of like
2 vibrators and a
inflated
gun.
I was gonna say a bunch of pufferfish that they've just been like
that would
torturing
be
pufferfish.
worse. That would be so much worse.
Yeah. 2 vibrators. Wait, 2 vibrators and 1 gun?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like that's better than the reverse. Like 2
Yes.
guns and 1 vibrator.
Although,
Well, they're still looking.
yeah,
Yeah.
my whole life, as far as I knew,
Yeah.
my dad was anti-gun.
Okay.
My sister and I very anti-gun. What I think is because my sister and I were anti-gun, my dad was like, "Oh yeah, me too." I mean, I knew that he had done some hunting when he was younger and that enjoyed that, but like because of
This is not a
us-
hunting gun, though.
No,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what kind of gun is it?
definitely not a hunting gun. It is the gun that James Bond had.
It's a Walther.
A Walther or
Walther.
Walther 9mm.
Okay.
I think I did. It did not have any ammo in it, and we have not found any. I think it's possible he just thought it was cool.
It is a
and
cool
didn't
gun.
actually have ammo. But anyway, so I found out from my brother. I had been like warned about the guns
Okay.
that he had a couple guns,
Okay.
and my sister and I were like, "What?"
Okay. A couple is a jump from like one collectible James Bond gun to now like
I
he
don't-
also
He has an
had
armory.
artillery. Yeah.
Grenades, the whole business.
The other one though, I forget what it is, but it's also like something that some character like. What did Clint Eastwood use?
A
He's a
Magnum?
357 Magnum, right?
What is that? Is that big or
It's
small?
Yeah,
big.
that's a big gun.
Yeah.
How big? Show me with your hands.
Be like this big.
It's a revolver.
Yeah.
They call it the hand cannon.
Okay. Someone knows about guns.
I know it.
Okay. I don't know. I know my
He
brother
does not have a Magnum.
My brother
There's no way.
mentioned 2 movies as like this is what he had, but I don't. Could it have been a Beretta? That's also James Bond also had. It was like one is what James Bond had, and one is what I don't know. Who's Dirty Harry?
That's dirty. Well, listen, if your dad has that gun, that's staying in the house.
What do you mean? Because you want
In
it?
this house. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They were. I
Have
think
you
they're
shot one? They're just
Yeah.
so crazy.
I know. Well, we had.
crazy. What in what way?
I have
Like
never shot a Magnum.
backfire?
I've shot a 9mm, and
Okay.
that thing has some kick.
Yeah, but I mean, again, in a world where for listeners at home, we all live in the same neighborhood roughly. Wait, where are you? What part of town are you?
Glendale.
Glendale. Okay, so there's the firing line shooting
Yeah.
range up the street. I go regularly.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, it's where Costco is.
Yeah.
There's like I don't know
Oh,
the name
yeah,
of
I
the
see
side
that.
street.
Maybe I
across
did know
from
this.
Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, where that like weird McDonald's that's built into like a soccer store is. But anyway, like,
Oh, the soccer McDonald's.
yeah. But anyway, so I say all that to say that like a 9mm, the first time I feel like the first time you shoot any gun, you're kind of like, oh, the responsibility needed to really carry this thing and be a functioning member of society is very high.
Mm-hmm.
But shooting a 357 Magnum, you're like, I am a god, and not in a good way. Like, it's too.
Right, I do architecture.
It's too much. Yes, exactly. I just think it's too much power, and then you like watch Dirty Harry, and you're like, oh yeah, this is why this psycho had this gun.
It's almost a novelty size gun.
Yes,
there's no
yes.
situation where that is preferable unless you're trying to intimidate somebody.
Right.
To just
Why
a
would
9mm.
someone want it? Why would you want
to
a
show
gigantic
to
gun?
be show? Well, first of all,
Is it
no
a
one
more
needs a
lethal
revolver
bullet?
for fuck's sake.
Right.
Is it a more lethal? Is it more lethal?
Well, it's a bigger bullet.
Yeah.
It is.
By
Okay.
a lot.
Is it
Yeah.
just for killing people?
I mean, no one's
they're
going
not
hunting.
Yeah,
deer with
exactly.
it.
Yeah. But you can also, and I mean this sincerely, I think you can make that case with pretty much all guns. It's like how many times, like if we looked at the amount of times guns are used versus when they were needed,
Right.
it is 1% tops.
Yeah.
Tops, you
Right.
know. So
I-
like everything kind of, they're weird. I compare them to cars a lot in the sense that like, what do people need realistically? I was just about to say a Prius. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Something that's like a hybrid. It has all the air conditioning and heating and radio and Bluetooth, but that's what you need. But it's like also people have an electric Hummer, and like those
Right.
are also awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but also they're dangerous in the sense that like they're just too big. Like everything is too. I drive an F-150, and I
What is
quote
that?
unquote it's
a truck.
it's a truck.
Okay.
Like a pickup truck. Now I need it in the sense that I like.
Is it to
like
carry your
haul-
guns?
Yes, yeah, pretty much.
Your big guns.
Yeah. Well, I just I volunteer for ICE on the weekend, so I just need to
Oh,
toss
good.
people in the back.
Yeah.
But no,
I've
but
been busy lately.
yeah. Oh my God, are you kidding me? This year, I was, I worked in pretty quietly during the Biden years, but now
Yeah.
we're out
But
there
still busy.
extremely.
Busy,
People don't
right.
know that
No.
we were busy.
But now you have more of a presence.
Yeah. We're we can be loud and proud.
It's about time.
Especially here in Burbank.
I know.
Right. So tired of
Especially here
it.
in Burbank.
Yeah, down by Home Depot.
Yeah. But I say all that to say that it's like, a need,
Yeah.
a want becomes a need in your head so quickly. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gun owners are. That's what like pretty much every car owner is. It's just you're like, no, but like I have so many groceries that I need a Yukon. Like
Right.
you don't. So anyway, I was only saying that to the
Yeah.
357 Magnum.
It'll be interesting if we get through the house and we never find any ammo, because then really
He's
it's
just a collector.
just a collector. Yeah.
I do think that's what it was. I don't think your dad ever fashioned himself as a user of guns or ever needing to,
Yeah. I mean, in
especially
in a
where
gated
they
community,
live. It's just like it wasn't.
I
Yeah.
don't. But it's like, who knows?
But you can also check this. I mean, just look to see. Can you see if they've been used? Have you looked?
No.
Okay.
How would you know? Would there
I
be
mean,
like
you can tell. I mean,
like
like literally, if you take the gun apart, you will see that like the springs have been, or
When you were-
like the hammer
Yeah.
or whatever.
Allison, when you were disassembling the gun to clean it,
Yeah.
Did you notice
I
that you were
didn't
blindfolded.
even-
Oh, she's
No.
blindfolded. That's what she could say.
I didn't want to get near it because my fear is that like an old round could explode without. But that can
It's not-
happen.
It's not like an old Luger that you found buried in the dirt.
I don't even know what a Luger
Norway.
is. It's a steak restaurant in Brooklyn. So
Or Norway. Yeah.
Because it's Ruger, right?
Is it?
The guns are Ruger.
Oh.
Yeah.
look who's cool now.
I meant to say Normandy. Norway.
Anyway, the point
Is it
is,
Ruger? I don't know.
I was trying to be safe. So someone else is the one who looked in there to make sure there was no rounds or anything.
Right.
But anyway, it was in the same drawer as the vibrators.
Okay.
And here's what I have to say about that.
Kinky.
Sorry, just gonna say them real quick. Luger pistol, Ruger rifle.
Oh, how
wow.
cute.
Now, maybe the gun was your mom's. You assume it was your dad's.
Right. Because I had been told, but
So
maybe it was
cool.
hers. Oh my God. If I
Shooting
found
into the
like
air.
a small pink mother of pearl lady pistol or something, that would be cool. I think there's also questions of legality gun wise. Like, was this registered? And then if someone's going to inherit it, what do they have to do? These are all the questions that, like, I think if my sister knew I was talking
Like, you
about it
can't
on a
just have
podcast,
it.
she would be very upset with me.
I am thinking, though, in case of, thinking ahead to when you've died, you should leave something that will make people question your entire identity just as a final fun thing. Like,
Yeah.
I know. Have you thought about that a bunch now? Because when my grandmother passed and we were at her house and we were like going through her stuff, it really made me be like, man, this like makes me think about the things that I own.
Well,
now.
yes, and also something that I don't think people think about. All your emails and all your digital footprint, someone's going to be able to go through all of that. So that is something to think about too. Thankfully, Daniel and I just put everything in our podcast anyway, so it's already out there.
I got no secrets, nothing to hide.
But let's talk about the vibrators for a minute, because believe you me, coming across that, I was like, oh my god.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. What kind were they?
Well, in a sense, because the only way I can say it is that, like, if they're newer vibrators, like, that's crazy. Were they like old? Like,
okay,
like were they from like the 80s, or were you like, wow, this one was made in
steam powered
2017?
Yeah.
Like, this is a
one
active
one plugged in.
Okay,
So it
that's
was
old.
very
okay,
old.
yeah, we'll call
And
that
one was quite new seeming. Like, definitely.
But I just say good for her.
Yes.
Yeah,
This,
no,
I
good for her.
suspect it was not. I suspect it was not something used together. I don't know. But it was like, I even had to look up the brand to see when it came on the market, because I was like, this is like something that I would have advertised on my podcast. I feel like this is like a startup or something.
Right.
Maybe
And it
you're to
was-
blame.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think it was Lilo. Luxury.
They're new.
That's what I'm saying.
This is
Like,
why.
I feel like she went to Wirecutter to find
hey,
the
hey,
best.
Oh,
Listen, she lost her husband a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And she was like, gonna get her groove back. And it was all happening for her. This was my prediction. This was the trajectory she was on. And that's what made it so tragic. Because I feel like she was about to discover like a whole new way of living.
Just
Yeah.
go,
And it
girl.
was cut off before she had the opportunity.
Yeah. But here's the sad part. My mom keeps everything. And like the little booklet that it came in, like the warranty and all this was like in a little Ziploc bag.
Oh, by the way, you can imagine the decision making process for
I
that.
know!
Like all the different websites, and this one or that one or the. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just know it was purchased after like 2000. I don't know if it was like in the last year or something.
I mean, Lilo is like
Pretty new.
at most 10 years. I feel like
So the child in me is like, oh my God.
right, of course. Yeah.
But the adult in me is like, we all have a drawer.
Right.
So what do we do with it so that our children don't have to find it? What
Well,
is the proper way
you
to
have
handle
go,
this?
You have to go maximalist. You have to have so many that they just become overwhelmed with the idea.
Well, I feel like we can be honest about that.
We have
I have had many sex toy sponsors over the years,
Yeah.
and they send you a box of promotional sex toys. So in our closet are like 40 unused sex toys.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's plausible denial. I mean, if we were to die and our kids were to find them, it'd just be like,
I just think like
Just
they're
keep them on
sex-
your person at all times.
I think genuinely, like, and this is this is the kind of stuff I hope for AI, and I mean this sincerely, like that I can like put a chip in my hand, and when it detects that I am like my heart is no longer beating, that drawer explodes. Every computer I have explodes.
Yes.
A Google server with my email.
well,
all of it just goes away.
I feel like I've heard of that, which is like a dead man's switch kind of thing, where it's like you can. I can't remember if this exists or if I made it up. I feel like I've heard of this, and it's like a place where you can store your files, and if you don't check in, so you've got to check in every so
God.
Yeah.
It just nags you.
For me, though, it's like my fear is not that they would find anything that would be like, I can't believe he thought that about me, or oh, look at this crazy fetish or whatever. It's more just like cringy poetry or something. just art or something that I created that I don't want anyone to see because it's not good. That's the thing that I'm afraid
Mine
of.
is the first two, for sure. Like, don't know anything about me, please.
Yeah.
Let me die, and you guys just think I was just
What's interesting?
driving around in my truck.
Yeah.
My friend that I lived with after college, she was like, if anything happens to me, clear out this drawer before my parents arrive. And I feel like we all had those ideas at one point, but
You do need to have that friend who's the cleaner that comes by and
Right. Yeah. Huh.
I don't know, but I feel like there's really no good thing because like she didn't know she was dying, so she couldn't call her cleaner.
Yeah.
I think maybe the work to be done is maybe she didn't do anything wrong. I mean, she obviously didn't, but like maybe the work is for me to just go like, I accept that you're a human being.
Yeah.
That sounds
I'd
hard.
be happy for her in that way.
I do.
It's a little bit of a stretch. Yes.
What if like it's a safe deposit box, I guess, but it goes in a drawer, whatever.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's like the
Like a
check-in thing, yes. But you have to like turn a key like every 4 days or whatever. And if you don't, then it just burns everything inside.
There you
I feel
go.
like that's what we need.
Yeah.
Like a burn after reading drawer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
A self-burning drawer. I would love that.
An evaporating dildo.
I mean, I was going to say, but then what's worse? You break into it, there's just like this melted dildo. You're like,
Is that purple latex?
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Okay. There's 2. One was a plug-in. The newer one, because I feel like, and you know, my wife Chelsea, podcaster as well. So the sex toys come and like, I guess as a kid when I grew up and you would see, you know, pornos or whatever, it was always just like a dildo and then like a vibrator. Vibrators kind of just look like dildos, right? But now I feel like over the past, like engineering and design of like vibrators and stuff has really taken, you know, they look like animals and like all this stuff.
This was not the rabbit.
Okay. So is this one of the ones that like look like an egg? What was it like?
No,
like
this was the Lilo Elise 2.
Okay. Oh, you had the
And-
model.
Yes.
Because you had the booklet. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was offers powerful G-spot stimulation, but also clitoral stimulation. So yeah, this is one that
Whoa.
you can
Whoa.
Wow.
I mean, shout out to mom in the biggest way, for real. Like, I'm glad.
I don't feel that way. I feel repulsed.
because it's your mom.
Yeah.
But like, if someone
Tony, pull it up. Lilo Elise 2.
and it's Elise, as in like a woman's name.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, you feel like it
The
should be like the
designer?
Gary.
No. I was like, I thought it should be like, because I also know like a lot of times when women have like these toys, like the last thing they want to think about kind of is a man. So like, I thought it would just
Right.
be like, you know, like the Great Wave or
Right,
you know,
yes.
like something a little more abstract.
Maybe they give female names to all
I
of
like
them.
that.
I actually wasn't really familiar with Lilo, but it seems as if you are.
I just like they're in, you know, you hear their name so
Yeah.
much. I feel like
I feel like if you
in the
hadn't-
work that I do.
I feel like if you hadn't found anything
Being an
though,
ICE agent?
Yeah, exactly.
if you hadn't found anything, I would be sad for her.
I think so.
So like, I'm glad you found them,
Yes,
even though I'm not happy for
you're-
your sake.
Right. As a human being, I get that. As the the person who was a child, I'm like,
Right.
"Ugh,
Right.
Yeah.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Have you pulled it up, Tony?
I have. What would you like me to do with this information?
Show
Can I
Yassir.
just-
Well, it's hard
So
for
we
me
can
to
see it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to turn because I'm plugged in here.
And then Yassir, you can describe it.
Oh, okay. I feel like it's
It's not like
no. You know what I would say? Like if
Obscene.
picture what you think of like a vibrator to be like a traditional torpedo style one, but like this one's got more. It's as if it were designed by like Honda. Like it's got more curves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like it's like
Think
more.
of-
It's a little more.
or you know those pens. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of.
talking about the
Because I was
ones that
already
have-
thinking those big pens, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was going to say a pen that a chiropractor's office gives out with a little bit of a curve. And then imagine like fattening it up and sort of smoothing it out.
You know what it looks like if you it looks like if you had to make an eggplant from memory.
Yes.
But like you don't know the thickness of an eggplant, so it's
right.
kind of skinny.
There are skinny eggplants.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
Cole and Perry gave me one from the Huntington Gardens. It's like I didn't use it to get off though. I just cooked it, but I think it's called an Italian. Tony, we looked it up. Is it an Italian eggplant that's very narrow?
Yeah, this looks like a skinny eggplant wearing a wedding ring.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's possible it hadn't even been used. I don't know.
Here's the thing.
in
It
a
was. Stop. It was used.
It was in a
Look at her
black-
creating a reality.
Yeah,
in which
she's
she
like,
was just
maybe it was just opened, put in her drawer
I think it was her.
with all of her hidden things.
Yeah.
It was her friend. She was holding it for a friend, and the other one was used for neck pain.
Well, what if her friend came to her and was like, I feel like I'm dying. Can you hold my vibrator for me?
Yes.
That might look.
Yeah.
In
Maybe
a
it was.
world.
Yeah.
In a world.
Just tell yourself that at the
Yeah.
least.
No.
It's weird she carved her name into it, though. Your
Right.
mom.
Yeah, but that was a throw
Property
off
of.
Oh my god! All right, so that was horrendous. Okay.
Yeah.
By the
And
way, it's
then-
a Chinese eggplant, apparently. That's the long skinny one.
Okay. Back to fish real fast. When you, I mean, I guess we've really never gotten off of it. When you were on the show, we talked about whitefish salad.
Yes,
'Cause you have a passion for it. I think I've had it in my life, but I've never really spent time with it.
Right,
But
right.
then that weekend, I was at a place where they had whitefish salad.
Whoa.
And I tried it, and it's very more smoky than I expected.
Yes.
I would say that was sort of the prominent flavor.
Yes.
Smokiness.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say it was way too salty, which not that they are the exact same,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like you can equate a saltiness and a smokiness
Yeah.
sometimes. As long as it's not you're not thinking of like the flame broiled taste of a
No.
Burger King Whopper.
No, not that.
But it's because it's usually
smoked
smoked
fish,
whitefish.
right.
Yeah.
Where do you guys come down on whitefish salad?
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, me neither.
You guys, honestly, get out of here.
What did
Never, it's smoked. It's a smoked whitefish,
That's,
which is usually I don't know
like
the
that.
actual particular fish. And then they whip it up with some mayonnaise in the same way that you would do a tuna salad.
Okay.
But it's got I feel like tuna salad
Less mayonnaise in it. Is that what you're thinking?
less mayonnaise, and like tuna fish they start coming in with like chives.
Yeah.
You start to get chunky at a point, and you're like onion, and you're like, okay, stop.
I'm with you.
Whitefish salad usually keeps it pretty gangster, pretty simple.
Like
they
that.
know what's going on. It's just the fish. It's
Where
just
did
the
you go to
mayonnaise.
get it?
Yeah,
My sister had some.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't know about it.
dill. Sometimes they'll add some dill.
There was-
Whole Foods makes it, but they sell a brand called Acme, Acme whitefish salad. To be mass produced, phenomenal. I feel like you can start there and then get into some
Trying to eat
local
more
delis.
fish, so I'm going to try this.
Are you? Well, I mean, like every other animal.
He's like Mr. Canned tin
Tin
fish.
fish.
It feels very pretentious to call it
Yeah,
that, even
yeah.
though that is what it is.
There's this British guy on TikTok who calls himself the Tin Fish Reviews.
Okay.
And all he does is like crack open these tins of tinned fish, and they always look amazing. Except
Okay.
he did one of barnacles,
Oh,
That's
no, thank you.
sick.
so that was too much
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And most of it I wouldn't eat.
Are you
Where
a
is he?
sardines guy?
I didn't know, so I bought some sardines recently. Pretty good. I liked them.
I like a sardine.
Where does he
Yeah.
get the barnacles? Like off of a boat?
There's a place that sells tinned fish, and they sent him a.
No. Where
Like, how do you
did
harvest?
they?
Where do they literally get
Yeah,
them?
yeah. Like, are they
Yeah.
are they just like shaving a whale?
I mean, I guess, right? Yeah.
I genuinely don't. I mean, like,
Did you see the footage that came out last week of that guy who's
Getting-
kayaking who got
Yes. That was
eaten by a whale?
I didn't see this. Someone fill me in.
oh my god,
He's like kayaking in like an inflatable kayak, I
Yeah.
think, and then just this whale just goes gulp and just like comes up and just eats him.
it's so for
In one gulp.
reference. He's being filmed. This guy who got swallowed by the whale. He's being filmed by his own father. His father's like, "Look at my boy kayaking in the ocean. What a beautiful moment!" And a whale's just like, "No!"
Oh my god.
and goes under. The dad's like, "Ah!" and then spits out.
Oh,
Thank
good.
God he
It is-
survived it.
It is absolutely, and I mean this sincerely because this is something I believe strongly in. There's like a few cases where I disagree, but most times in animal attack, I'm on the side of the animal.
Yeah.
Like 99.9% of the time. Every once in a while, something will happen with like a pit bull, and you're like, okay, that was the pit bull's fault. You know what
Okay,
I'm
I'm going
saying?
to throw a situation.
Yeah.
Old lady walking her poodle by a lake in Florida.
Yeah.
Alligator. How do you feel?
Who
Here's the
takes
thing.
the poodle or the lady?
Which side are you on?
Here's the thing. It is
The lady.
sad.
The
It
lady.
is sad.
But what are you doing walking next to alligator?
I was going to say,
Right?
alligators are known for chilling on the edge of the water, waiting for something to walk past.
Right.
I have God, I don't know if we should keep this in or not, but I don't even want to say a friend, someone I went to high school with in my graduating class went to go visit her grandmother in Florida. And like 3 nights after we all graduated, eaten by an alligator in the pond behind her grandmother's home.
Oh my God.
No.
Swear to God. And that like we graduated high school and then she was eaten by an alligator. I'm not
That is
laughing.
so
I'm like, it's so
crazy.
So beyond,
crazy.
yeah.
But it kind of is like the idea that people retire to Florida is like
Yeah.
if you were like a piece of beef jerky retiring to a dog kennel.
Right,
Like,
yes,
what
yes,
are you
yes.
doing?
Exactly.
What, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you
Yeah.
are food to the predominant species in this area.
You know when they like build these like golf courses and they're like, "Hey, this is just the best place for a golf course," and you're
Yeah.
like, you're on a swamp and
Yeah.
you built this golf course essentially on top of dinosaurs.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like, can you believe that Mark got? And I'm like, yes, I can believe Mark lost his arm. I can believe it.
I totally
You know?
believe it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of glad. Mark lost his arm.
Wow. Wow.
So I'm on the alligator. So like an alligator, like.
But even with your friend? She wasn't your friend. She was your classmate.
Yeah, but that's a tragic accident, and like again, I don't know if we can get this, but what I'll say is that like to your point, I can't walk into a burning house and expect to walk out unscathed. Like it's a little beyond me.
When you hear about like someone who was killed by hippopotamus, it's like there isn't a situation that I can think of where the hippopotamus is at fault. Why are you around hippopotamus?
Exactly. Like Ian Edwards has. Do you guys know Ian Edwards?
Yeah.
Very funny. But he has a joke where he's talking about like this, like, you know, he's talking about the Soul Surfer and how like she got her arm bitten off by a shark,
right.
and people are like, "What a violent shark attack!" And he's like, "That's not a shark attack. You're where sharks are." Like he's like, if you're in the shower and like a shark breaks into your house, like that's a shark attack, and it makes me laugh. Like it makes me laugh every single time because you're like, "That's right.
Right.
We're never like again. If a hippo breaks into your house right now, come stampeding, I'll still be like, "Whoa, how did it get here?" But like we're not where hippos are. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But like when people are like on safari and they're like, and then the cheetah jumped on the bus. I'm like, yeah, I can expect like again this foreign thing, which is a vehicle, is now on its property and it's filled with food essentially.
The safari thing seems. My most recent experience of witnessing any sort of safari was watching Love on the Spectrum.
Right.
But that's
You should expand that that they were on a safari.
Well,
That is wild to me because they're just like in a doorless, windowless Jeep pretty close to these animals. That seems scary to me.
Yeah, and then point like you're pointing and prodding I'm not saying this to be funny, but like if I'm walking down the street and I look across the street and there's just a guy pointing at me, I'm gonna get aggressive because I'm like, why
Right.
is this stranger pointing at me?
Right.
So I can't imagine being an animal. And by the way, like the other thing we don't talk about like enough, I feel like, is that like animals are violent for 2 reasons. They're being defensive or they're very hungry. That is it. Animals usually are not just like engaging in like gang wars. Like, they don't, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not in their nature.
Yeah.
So like this idea that like you were attacked, it's like you messed with this thing's life, you know? And so
Right.
anyway, sorry. The safari thing is so crazy to me. It's like that. You guys know that elephant that killed that lady and then went to the lady's funeral and stomped her
Yes.
body?
what did she do to that elephant?
I don't know, but I'm like, dude, that rules. Like,
Yeah.
I like when you have that much awareness that you're like, okay, it's this date, this time, I'm going back. I'm gonna handle business.
Who invited the elephant? Who told me? How did they know?
It feels wrong to have invited the elephant. I am always going to be on the side of the elephant.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And in any like again, like if an elephant kicked me in the chest right now, I'd be like, I mean, I deserved it. I don't know how, but I deserved it. You know what I'm saying? I just think that we just are so cocky as a species. You know what I'm saying? Like just because we have iPhones, we're like, hey, don't mess with me. A leopard's like, I do not care.
Right, and the score is wildly in our favor if you're
Yes.
just tallying up the kills. You know,
Yes.
Let's. Were you gonna say something?
No, just team animals.
Yeah. So Daniel told me before we recorded that he has a "Hey, go fuck yourself." This is a segment that I don't even think I told you about, Yassir.
Yeah, no.
And that he always has a "Hey, go fuck yourself." So I didn't realize he was always sitting on top
Well,
of some, "Hey, go
usually.
fuck
I would
yourself."
more like usually.
All right, so let's hear it. Or them.
Okay. My "Hey, go fuck yourself" is weak ass refrigerator magnets.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, because like, look, if you're gonna call yourself a fucking refrigerator magnet, you have one job, and that job is to hold shit onto the refrigerator.
Right.
And
Okay.
and I had something, that I put up like a little recipe card, and I stuck it, and I let go, and both fell behind the fucking between the thing. It's like, what are you doing? What? Who is ordering this weak magnitude fucking magnet and calling it a refrigerator magnet?
Yeah.
Fuck off. Go fuck yourself.
Are you
Hey, go fuck yourself.
are you a hardware store person?
Yeah, I love a good hardware store.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, you can get the most powerful magnets and 50 of them for $2.
Exactly.
I don't buy
Use
anything.
that.
Like, I buy the utility version of everything that has a decorative version.
So it's almost like it's a deliberate,
hooks,
like
screw all of it.
it's like
Sorry.
there's some person who just hates people, and she's making these little butterflies out of like resin and whatever the fuck, and then she's just like like this barely magnet. It's like a barely magnet, and she's like, this is gonna so many fucking recipes and children's art projects are gonna get lost with this. Fuck you. Like, she's like the Ted Bundy of fucking like Etsy creators.
So wait, where did they fall though?
Between the counter and the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Never getting
That's
it.
awful.
Can't ever get it.
That's awful.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
I have one.
Oh, wow.
It relates to the carb. I can't eat gummy worms because they're worms, and my brain can't get past that.
Whoa.
I don't think I've ever eaten a gummy worm in my life. And friend of the show and guest at your wedding, Nicole Thurman, is always posting about those trolley gummy worms. And I'm like, how does she do it?
Now, if you shred them and make like a gummy spaghetti, does that somehow help? Like, do you eat like licorice ropes or like sour?
I do eat licorice ropes.
Okay.
I just ate some Twizzlers.
Okay, we love a Twizzler.
Yeah.
Now, do you have like a?
It's just the worm aspect of it.
Yeah, but can we do a little dicing and then all of a sudden you can enjoy it? Like,
I mean,
would
probably.
it be cut into segments? Is it still?
Worm
Are you
segments.
like I chopped up a worm?
Well, I've never wished I could eat them so bad that I'm like, I got to find a workaround.
Yeah.
Because I can just eat it in bare form.
I was gonna say, like-
yeah.
Are you worried someone might sneak a real worm in there?
It's
and you're
just the mental.
like,
It's just It's just a psychological hang up about
Well,
it. Like, I can't get past it, but I've never needed to.
I think I talked about this on the show recently because I was talking
I'm
about
feeling deja vu.
I only really like gummy bears, like any other, because especially the when they get huge, like they sell those like giant gummy bears. I think that's what I talked about.
Yeah.
Those gross me out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For some reason, if it's a nice small, like kind of bite-sized one, I'm good. But anything bigger than that kind of
So you
grosses me
can't
out
do
for some
gummy
reason.
worms either?
I'm not gonna say I can't, but I couldn't tell you the last time I was probably a child when I had one.
Right.
Last time.
Where is y'all's limit? Like a ring, like a gummy ring?
Oh, I can, like a peach ring. I like
Yeah,
those. I
okay.
like those almost. I like those better
Yeah,
than
I
gummy
could
bears.
probably do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just anything that you need to eat with a fork and knife. You're
You're
Yeah. No, thank
okay. What are we talking about? Like a shoe.
Gummy shoe.
What are we talking about? Like a.
So am I the only one who has that with the worms? You guys could all eat
You
gummy
are.
worms except
I'm
for
not,
Tony.
no.
I, without exaggeration, had like, and not just gummy worms. Like you like go to the grocery store and they like container them themselves. You know, they have the
Yeah,
section
like
of
the bulk stuff.
Yes, I had some Gelson's gummy worms the other night, and not only that, I ate
expect-
like 10 of them, and I was like, I do feel bad, but I wish I did this more often.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to just like
Yeah.
you grab it, pop it right in, you're chewing, you're talking.
Is anyone else shocked that Gelson sells gummy worms?
No.
No, they sell like all those places, they're just buying it from the same
Right.
spot, and then they're just whatever fake. What is it called when you tear? When they weigh something and they tear it out. Whatever fake tear that they're using to then be like, oh, it's actually 12 pounds, and you're like, really? There's 6 gummy worms in there. They're like, sorry. Anyway, it'll be $77. They're all so it doesn't shock me.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked that they still have bulk bins.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a thing. For
It's not the bins, the little containers. Little plastic, where they do like chocolate covered raisins
That's
and
okay.
like the nuts.
Right.
And all
So it's
that
like
stuff.
bulk, but it's pre.
Yes.
They put it into containers.
Yeah.
Gelson's used to have a bulk bin section that was all like supposedly low calorie gummies.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love those. I don't know I don't think they were actually. I think it was fake low calories before all that got like regulated.
This isn't even the product I want to push, but have you checked out either of y'all? Anybody? Shameless Snacks.
No.
Okay, so they're gummies. They have like a watermelon
a
flavor,
minute.
green apple,
Maybe
blah
I
blah blah.
have.
Very, very low cal.
Shameless Sweets. Is that what it is?
I think the whole company is Shameless
Okay.
Snacks, so Shameless Sweets would be the
Maybe,
the
yeah.
candy part. Each bag is like maybe 50 calories tops, 2 grams of sugar,
Oh my
your
God.
daily fiber all in one. They're phenomenal for something that you're like, this is gonna suck. I eat them all the time.
Yeah,
Check out Shameless.
I feel like the low cal, low sugar options now are so much better than they used to be. It must be the new sugar substitute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. In 3 years, they're going to be like, hey, sorry.
Sorry.
Now that
Sorry, you have
Sorry
a,
about
you have
your
a
cancer.
yeah. You lost your lung, but do you remember how good that was?
That was good.
All right. Who has a Just Me or Everyone?
I have one.
What is
if
it?
no one else wants to go,
Go
for it.
You go.
And here's the thing. I have a feeling it's a just me, but it might be everyone. Does anybody else? And here's like, can I explain it just a little
Please.
bit? I'm using a sauna mentality when I say this, and you'll understand what I'm saying in a second. But does anybody else? Is it just me or everyone? That you weigh yourself before you get in the shower, and then weigh yourself again when you get out of the
I
shower.
do that.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All right.
And how
But
does
wait,
it?
do you feel like it
Alright.
goes down? Because sometimes I feel like it goes up, and I'm like, is it 'cause my hair's wet?
no.
What's
Sometimes it does
happening?
go up,
Yeah.
but in my head, it's because I take very hot showers, or as hot as I can stand them, I guess. And I'm like, I just sweat out a bunch of toxins. That was probably 3 pounds in water weight. Like, here we go.
Do you lose weight from that?
Like, okay, here's the thing. I don't like that scales, by the way, there's just a complaint. I don't like that scales go in divisible by 10 instead of just making it divisible by 16 ounces when that's what a pound is.
Interesting.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right.
So you always lose like 2/10. Not always, but it's like 2/10 of a pound where you're like, that's not really enough to
Right.
gauge, but it does make, if it does go down, I feel way better. Like, all right, like I did, that was like a brisk walk. That shower was just like a brisk walk. So I don't need to exercise today.
Just take a longer shower. And then get your 10,000
kind
steps.
of. You're just like, it's like literally like panting in there, being like,
Yeah.
come on, just another 5 minutes.
I do want one of those steam showers, though. You ever?
There, yes.
That's what I want.
I have noticed that on a colder day, my weight will be less than on a hot day. And I never know, is it because I'm like retaining fluid because it's hot, or is the scale itself, like the springs are more cold and frigid on a cold day?
Blame the scale.
Yeah. Well, it's the first, and it's not even
Okay.
retaining water. You're probably
Drinking more.
just drinking more water.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Not paying attention
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
Tony, you said you had one.
Yeah, it's almost more of a complaint.
Oh, they could be a hey, go fuck yourself.
Well, we'll see here. Did anybody watch the SNL 50 thing the other night?
I meant to, but I
I
didn't.
saw some parts.
Yeah.
I saw some parts.
So no one will be able to answer this.
I'll try.
I wanted to, I was curious about it. I was like, oh, that'd probably be fun to watch. And I did have fun watching it, but I also thought it wasn't very good. And I thought it was very confusing the way they did it. To be this 3-hour something celebration of 50 years
It was
of shows.
3 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
But they just, it was like they mostly just did new sketches with like different cast members from over the years.
Oh,
and
really?
like, I was like, I thought it was going to be kind of like, here's a bunch of like clip. And they did a little bit of that, but usually it was just like super fast, like things edited together. Like, here's a 2-second clip of this and this. And
Right.
this. And like, and they were using like Scarlett Johansson was in 2 of the sketches and Dana Carvey wasn't on the show at all. And like, I think, I was like, yeah, I was like,
Why
he's like
wasn't he there?
Mr. SNL.
Wait,
like,
why wasn't he there?
I have no idea. Maybe he
Wait,
was.
he?
but-
I was gonna say, was he in the audience? 'Cause
I
there was
never
like a bunch of them in the audience.
I know everybody
too.
was in the audience. I never saw. Maybe he was, and I didn't see him.
Yeah,
He's been on
But-
recently though. He was. He
Yeah.
did Church Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and he does that
Biden
podcast about
and,
SNL and David.
He does?
Spade. Yeah, because David Spade. It's him.
Oh, and he
David
did a
Spade.
good Biden. I liked his Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought it was really weird that he was nowhere to be. Unless, look, I've been sick. Maybe, maybe I forgot. But I don't know. It was kind of fun to watch, but it just felt like kind of a sloppy mess, and I was confused why
It's SNL.
they were using. But also, like, I get it because I'm sure it was a billion celebrities. I'm sure it's impossible to do much rehearsing, getting everybody in the same place.
Right.
But yeah, and like Meryl Streep was in a sketch, and it's like she's never even been on SNL,
Right.
And I don't know. I just
But
thought it
she
was
might
weird.
be dating Martin Short.
I know that's the rumor.
Yes, it seems like she might be.
I
Yeah.
gotta say, I just off of that, you know, we're all in the same comedy community of folks, and you know, so many people that we know were at like, I guess they did like a giant concert.
Yeah,
the night
that you can
before.
watch that also.
Yeah. Oh, did they? Or I didn't know it was streaming, but or on whatever term I'm supposed to use. But it was Instagram never felt worse because it was like SNL concert, a plane crash. SNL concert. These kids are dead. SNL concert. You can't eat pork anymore. Like, I mean, like,
Right.
And I was like, oh, like this is the fall of Rome in a really weird, like, it was just so in my
Interesting.
face in a way that, like, usually Instagram was like, here's, you know, some idiot doing their version of, you know, a TikTok day. Like, there's usually so much variety, but for me, it was so much SNL stuff mixed in with so many tragedies, and I was like, "Oh man, we did it! We got it! We got it!"
Another time where it was like a sort of schizophrenic back and forth of stuff, and I feel like it was around the time that the thing leaked that they were going to overturn Roe. But then there also was some. I can't remember. I'm sure a listener will remember.
Yeah.
I just know that that what you're describing.
Yeah.
I've had that feeling before of like, this is the most postmodern of them all.
Yeah.
I think we should say hello and welcome to new patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
I'd like to say hello and welcome to Becky, to Jeffrey Chu, to Sylvia, to Eugenia, to Stephanie Loftus, to Peter T, to Ron M, Trankler Thompson, and to V Brown 65. You guys are what keeps this show going. You may have noticed a dearth of ads.
Do you think V Brown is the 65th
V Brown?
V Brown?
Quite possibly.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Keep it going, V
Yeah.
Brown.
So listen, thank you. You guys are directly supporting this podcast and allowing it to keep going. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
Patreon.com/AllisonRosen.
Patreon. And if you're going to subscribe, why not do an annual subscription? And then also, because I want to hear Todd's plug, might I remind you, Substack.
AllisonRosen.substack.com.
Substack.
Love it so much. I think it's time for Podcast Pals Product Picks.
Podcast Pals Product Picks.
All right. Let's hear it, Yassir.
Okay, so I actually, I went through a bunch, and I really like. It was actually hard to what's the word I'm looking for? I was gonna say choose, but
Select?
like. I was
Discern.
gonna say siphon down, but I'm looking for
Narrow
a word.
down.
We'll just go with we'll just go with narrow down. Because you know, last time I was on here, I talked about food, and this time I want to talk about clothing, and I want to talk about it in the sense of being sustainable. I think it's important. I'm not particularly a fan of
Fast fashion.
Yeah, just not even fast fashion, but just like we're just constantly buying stuff, and it's just like, what are we doing? But this is a pair of I'm going to talk about a pair of overalls from Duluth Trading Company.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a work. It's kind of everything. It's like, you guys know what like Tractor Supply is,
Sure.
or like, okay, it's like that, but they also like have like weird clothing things. But I bought these. The first pair I bought like 6.5 years ago. Then I bought another pair 4 years ago. And the reason I'm bringing them up again is because they sent me an email saying that they're like restocking. But there's a pair of Duluth Trading Company gardening overalls that are, in my opinion, the perfect overall because they're like more of a like nylon than like a denim or like a very heavy, like I know people like love to wear Carhartt or Dickies or all that stuff. True. But they're baggy, they're breathable. They keep you warm when you need them to be warm. They keep you cool when you need to stay cool. They have enough space to like, and again, there's another one of my problems with the other more rigid overalls is that they, you can't like comfortably wear hoodies or like thermals and stuff under them. But these ones, tons of pockets, tons of length or tons of width in the or area in the leg spaces, in the tummy places, which I feel like is very important. Like a lot of people are wearing overalls and you're like, the belly's poking a little bit, you know, and that's not, it's not a fat shaming thing. It's more of just like, they don't make them to like rest comfortably on people's bodies. And I also, and this is the last thing I'll say, I do think with like baggier clothes, pants in particular, it's all about how it rests. The leg rests over the shoe, right? Like you see how sometimes it's like it's a little too high and then it just looks like weird high waters, and other times it's like way too low and you're like just dragging it along. Like,
Like if it rains, you're wicking.
You're wicking.
There's wicking
And
action.
I gotta say, and look, people can hate me all they want. Like my least favorite look is like Kendrick Lamar's like jeans.
That were like
Super
he's
Bowl.
stepping on the he's stepping on the hem.
I hate just like very like my point is if Drake were wearing those jeans, everyone would
Clown him.
they'd shoot him with a flamethrower. so I say that personally, that's my like least favorite look. But the way these overalls bunch at the shoe, it's perfect. Like they never fully fall over, but they also don't do that thing where they don't do the thing where they like are dragging on the ground, but they also don't bunch up so much that you just kind of look like an idiot. That are like, you know, rubbing your legs together as you're walking. So it was a very long explanation to say that like these are just, and they're relatively cheap, you know, like between like $30 and $50 depending. They have multiple colors.
That is
so,
cheap.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah, and if you're a gardener, I'll say like they have the slots for the knee pads. All
Are
of it.
you?
They're the
That's
best.
great.
Are you a gardener?
Not really, but I use them to like do stuff, and I wear them a lot when like I hate to say like woodworking because that's like not particularly just building stuff. I should say.
Yeah, I might have
So,
to get a pair of these.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Also,
re-landscaping. I'm
yeah.
going to be out there.
Have you ever
every day.
had overalls?
I have. Well, I had a.
You to have overalls.
Well, I don't know what technically counts as an overall, but I used to go to the Army Navy store to get clothes, and they had like this one that like the mechanics would wear.
That's
That's like a coverall,
Right,
yeah.
that's a coverall.
Yeah.
Overall is the like
Yeah.
Two straps.
the strappies.
Yeah. So I had a coverall. I never had overall. I think as a kid I had.
Yeah.
overalls.
They're very much a kid's
Yeah.
fashion item, and then as you grow up, you just need them. You just need overalls.
Tony, overalls.
No, never. Just
I
as a
remember
kid.
Kurt. You know Kurt Brownell?
Of course.
He has overalls, did as of years ago, and he loved them, and his wife hated them. I remember this somehow came up on the show, and I can't remember why.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll say if you're going denim, heavier denim overalls, the best ones and lifetime warranty, Patagonia. They're phenomenal. Just a thought, guys.
Bringing them back.
Yeah.
I have a product pick.
Please.
So there's this kind of ice cream called Rebel ice cream that I have recently discovered.
Oh yeah, that's
And
the like low calorie one. or
It's like,
something,
yeah,
right?
normally with the low cal, like Halo Top. I mean, it's gotten better, but it's usually like, yeah, I'm eating low cal ice cream.
Right.
Yeah. this Rebel ice cream, I cannot get enough. I got it thinking, okay, a little treat at the end of the night. 1 gram of sugar. Yeah. That's pretty good. It's like high in fat. It's kind of a keto sort of situation. Right. But like I'll devour the whole fucking pint in one, so I can't buy it anymore. But
is it one of those ones where it like breaks down this like you? Because like Halo Top is like, here's how much is in the entire pint, like with the idea that you might just eat the whole pint.
Right.
Yes, they do. Like well, they have on the back, they have the 2 side-by-side servings. So it's like the recommended serving amount of calories and then the whole pint serving because they know that that you're going to do it. But I was thinking like maybe I should hold back my my product pick until we can get them on as a sponsor and then they can pay me to say this, but fuck it. Maybe someone's listening.
No,
this shit's good.
I feel like do it now. They're like, oh, this isn't a real
This
fan.
is for real. Yeah. Because I am trying to lose weight. And so I was like,
I've been posting photos. I said, toxic diet culture has come from my husband because he was eating pickles and cottage cheese.
I was like, oh my God.
I did the warrior fasting thing.
What is that?
What is this?
You only eat for 4 hours a day.
Oh.
And I'll say extremely hard. But at, what is it? It's February?
Yeah.
At the beginning of September, I weighed 35 more pounds.
And this is all from doing.
Now.
And now were you eating whatever you want in those 4 hours?
In the 4 hours, I would go nuts. But like also... The thing that I like is that your stomach shrinks so much in that amount of time that by the time you're like, I'm going to go nuts, you eat like a sandwich and a half and like some grapes and Cheez-Its and you're like, I can't. Like, I'm going to die.
Which hours did you choose?
4 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh my God. So you woke up and you didn't have, I don't know if you drink coffee, but like.
Yeah, I would have black coffee or just like plain matcha. Yeah. I was just looking for things that like, it was just like, as long as it didn't spike my blood sugar and cause like an insulin rush, then, whatever. So I'll say the first 3 days were incredibly hard, but you start thinking less about it, Now, I'm also not saying it's healthy, but like it worked. So.
Yeah.
But are you not doing it anymore?
I've just opened up the window to like 6 hours a day now. So
anything you want for 12 hours a day.
Yeah. And I go to sleep immediately after I eat, and then when I wake up again, I start eating.
Yeah, I do Weight Watchers just because they have such an easy. It's so easy. Yeah. And you just do the points. Yeah. Like so I'll make like. A stew or chili or something that's got 0 points and you can use as much of that as you want. And so it's like hearty and you feel it's good. But the fucking ice cream, like Allison bought, was it by accident? Bought like this Haagen-Dazs, what was it there, like caramel cone flavor, and I'd never had it, and it was just like I would just eat a whole pint of that. So it's like I just realized that it's too much of an addiction, so I needed to substitute, and it's good. It's a good sub.
Are you a sweet tooth guy or
a little bit? Although I can avoid candy. I'm not into candy.
Okay.
But ice cream, I don't know what it is.
Once Papa gets creaming, he's not stopping.
That's what I say. Once Papa gets creaming, she's so sick of hearing that.
This has been too much fun. I would like to remind everyone, if you would like to see things that people recommend for their product picks, Amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen. Let's see. Yassir, what should everyone do your plugs? Let us know where we can find
you. Instagram /Yassir_Lester. YASSIR_LESTER. Again, I've been helping out with some ice raids. So if you see me, if you guys see me in the streets, just send me a wave. Call me treat me the same way you treat first responders.
That's right. Just
I
clap.
Deserve the same amount of respect. Yeah, bang your pot and pan as you see me drive past. That's all you ask. By the way, that's not funny. Ice is evil. But yeah, no, I think just Instagram. I can't think of anything else.
Excellent, Daniel.
Just follow me, I guess, on Blue Sky, Daniel Quantz, and wherever else. Instagram. I'm not really doing Instagram as much these days. I don't know.
Can I say something real quick? Just as we're leaving, I left Twitter in like 2021, And then someone was like, Blue Sky's the new thing, like recent. So I tried to get on Blue Sky, but because I have been off Twitter for so long, I no longer want to like get back. Like my brain is just like, I can't even think of things to say. I'm just like, literally all my tweets or Blue Sky sound like they're like from a bot. I'm like, what's everyone up to? Hope everyone has a great day. Everyone's like, what?
Yeah, mine sounds like a bot too. I'm like 14 words. 88. Today's the 88th day that I'm sober. I go there for news, breaking news.
Gotcha.
So
And it's good for that. I can't.
it's better than
my thumb
Threads.
goes to Threads. That's where I go.
Threads is great if you want breaking news from last week.
Ooh,
And then
dig,
oh
Threads,
yeah.
dig.
Listen, I go hard. And X is just X. Who cares?
I'll check out Blue Sky. Tony.
I also recently got on Blue Sky, but much like Yassir, I hadn't really used Twitter much in a while, so I had barely used it, but I'm at Tony Thaxton there, and Instagram. I'll be in Australia in April with Ocean City. That's about it.
And I am everywhere. You guys know where to find me. Everyone, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go.